Welcome to Into the Mind of a Madman. You are now rocking with me, the Madman, and the conversation I would like to have with you today is about plus ones at weddings. Now, this conversation comes from the former co-host of See the Thing Is, Mandy B and Bridget Kelly. Is not to necessarily talk about their conversation, but I wanted to have my own conversation simply because I've been through this before. So I wanted to shed some light on how I came to with my wife of deciding who deserved a plus one and who didn't deserve a plus one. Now, we all know weddings are special. For most people who want weddings, uh they look at it as like the most perfect day, whether it's a man or a woman. You look at it as like the perfect day. Everything you do kind of is geared toward this being like the a very special day, the perfect day if you can get two perfects in there. And everything you do leading up to the wedding is giving is with that in mind. And even when it comes to a person deciding who should attend the wedding, you put so much thought into, okay, who do I actually want there to celebrate this perfect day with me, right? Now, when you start going through, if you're not of the belief of spending all the money in the world and saying, I want to have anybody who wants to be show up to my wedding, and you are of the belief of only a certain amount of people I want at my wedding, then you start saying, well, who deserves to come? Who's with somebody who essentially be their plus one? And and we you start using by any means necessary to cut people off, especially you start getting into uh a 75. I say anything under 75 is considered small to me. Now, what I wanted to do in this conversation is is not uh start with money. I didn't want to put forth the money aspect because we all know when it comes to money, that can play a factor of that plays the biggest factor of how your wedding turnout is. Now, I don't want to dismiss money. I just want to bring money up later. So to really drive home my point, I don't want to make it about money. And so I wanted to start by when you do want to when you are deciding who should attend your wedding, and in the plus one when the plus ones come into play, obviously if like say you're starting at family or friends, and they are married, or they have a significant other that is around, is you know them, like you see them when you go to Christmas, and you see them at Thanksgiving, you or any type of holiday where they come as a pair. Obviously one gets an invitation, or they both get an invitation, and the plus one is kind of already given, right? This is a conversation, I guess self-explanatory, but it's a conversation of, we have a somebody who's single, do they deserve a plus one? Now, if you are single, how your plus one to me is determined is, first we have to determine the location of the wedding. In my brain, and I had this conversation with my wife, how we think about it is, if you're having a destination wedding, you whoever is coming, because you are in a sense paying to fly to somebody's wedding or like the destination of it, you deserve a plus one. You know what I'm saying? No matter if it's somebody you just bringing off the street at that point in time, you are paying for your own room and board. More than likely, you were out of the country, so you might not be comfortable with the family, or you are comfortable with the family, but I mean, you're in a destination. You might want to just spend that time with whoever you decide to spend that time with. I mean, if they're significant enough to you that you will kind of go on vacation with them, I have no issue with you bringing that plus one and even bringing them to the wedding, right? So destination weddings, whoever decides to come, and especially most of the time with destination weddings, uh, if you were looking at a party of 100, you're probably looking at a party of 30 that who's gonna actually take the time and come and have the money to spend and all that. I mean, when you look at the understandings of destination weddings, anybody will tell you it's a way destination weddings are a way to actually cut down the guest list, because most people can't come by whatever means, you know what I'm saying? Whatever their reasoning is. Now, we now it's really this is really to focus on local weddings, far as local as in whatever city you live in, your primary residence, your wedding is happening in that residence, where now you're kind of established far as this is where you live at, and so this is where you met your person at and all of this. So wherever y'all decide to actually reside, that's where your wedding is. If people do have to fly in, that would just be on their own accord. You know what I'm saying? So the guest list, far as local weddings, when you are single and it is a not a you're not in a committed relationship, to me and my wife, and especially me, your plus one is dependent upon how I feel. It is dependent upon who else I want to invite. Point blank, period. Now, I'm going to tell you how I came up to that decision. And like I said, I've dealt with this in my actual life. So a lot of this is going to come off as um like a real thing. Now, when I was deciding who should come, 75 people, right? Essentially, my wife has 37 people, I have 37 people, somewhere around there, right? I decide who's going to come first by saying, well, who have I spoke to in the last 5 years, 10 years? Okay, a lot of family members I haven't spoke to. I don't necessarily wish them happy birthday, happy New Year's, Merry Christmas. They don't necessarily wish me happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. You automatically get cut, right? You when you are when you are deciding this person should come because they are close to you. Maybe they're a co-worker. Maybe they are family who's close to you, your mother, father, aunts, uncles, cousins, and they are single. How you determine the plus one? Well, now I'm not even going to say determine the plus one. I want to say to the people who not understanding why you don't get a plus one is first you have to understand the process of a wedding, right? When a person is planning a wedding, me and my wife planning a wedding, you and your spouse is planning a wedding, you go the extra mile in everything you do. Whether you are paying for somebody to help you in this, or you are doing it yourself, you you have a price point to it, right? And like I said, I want to push that to the back. Now, what I'm saying is the venue. I don't want to say actual numbers. I'm just saying the venue charges you for a certain amount of people, right? You have to find a venue to fit a certain amount of people, right? So now when you're looking at a venue, you say, "Oh, I can't get a small place because I need 75 people to come versus 25 people to come." Or I want to get a place that's 75, so I'm not going to book the 150 people venue, or I mean you might or whatever, but so the venue, you're deciding, when you book a venue, you're deciding how many people of you want to celebrate you on this special day, right? You get whatever the venue provides, certain amount of tables, certain amount of catering or whatever, certain amount of chairs. However, that price is determined from the venue. The venue we use, they gave us tables and they rented the chairs for us. So, like I said, outside of the price, you do have a price on the the rooms you need, because we use two rooms, and the chairs. So that is determined of a plus one is given, right? The catering, the food choice, right? Not the actual food, but how much food you need to feed how your guest list. That has a price to it. We're not getting to that, but understand the I need food for 75 people. Uh Drinks. I need drinks for 75 people. Cake. Understand the process of getting a cake. When most people order a cake, right, whether it's for their birthday or any type of celebration, they may go to their local bakery, they may go to Walmart, Publix, whatever, or some place, nothing but cakes, to get whatever cake they want, right? And they just get it for their birthday. It may not be. They might get it for the amount of people. They might not. Whatever. Depends on how they go about doing that occasion. But understand, when it comes to a wedding is the only time really that most people do cake tastings. So when you going into detail about your cake tasting, you want to get a certain cake, because you're presenting this as your perfect day. When you go during the catering, you may want to try to get certain foods because it's your special day. It's not like uh a baby shower where you just want to get meatballs or something like that. You see what I'm saying? You're putting so much detail, and within the detail comes the amount of people you are trying to feed, or the amount of guests you are trying to get drinks for, the amount of guests you have to have your decoration for, as far as tabletop decorations and flowers or whatever, however you want your setup to be. So when you speak to a decorator, they're gonna ask you, well, how many uh how many tables I gotta set up, how many people was coming, so I might have special little things for them. You know, the wedding favors, where you want to pass out the wedding favors. Like I said, before you get to the price, you have to know how many wedding favors you're giving out to because this is a special occasion and you want people to really. And this, I think this is the biggest thing, before you even, when you're this, like, all of this is decisions you make of who you want to attend your wedding. And this is why the plus one is even given or not given, right? when you are deciding your party favors, you're just deciding the how you want your decorations to look, how you want your wedding to look, the food, the music, the venue. You want the closest people to you because this is your perfect day, and you want the people to come and say, "Yo, that was beautiful. That was so nice." You don't want them to say, man, that was kind of so. The food was trash. The music was trash. The decorations look cheap. Like you really doing this. You putting your all into these details. The invitations of actually inviting you and a plus one to your wedding. You know what I'm saying? So again, when you really the people who haven't actually taken this journey, I don't think really understands all that is put into a wedding to determine if a person gets a plus one or not. I mean, it's not to determine if you get a plus one, but all that is put into this. So now when you are looking to invite whoever you're inviting somebody as your guest, you know, like, no, I really want who I want at my wedding, right? Now when you having this local wedding and you get into all right, this person is single, do I actually give them a plus one or not? Especially when you have 75 people, right? Like I did. I cut a lot of family off, like I said, because I simply just didn't talk to them. I felt like, you know what I mean? I had people who in a sense I just met from working. Like I've only known them for probably maybe 3-4 years at the time versus family members that I knew all my life, simply because I just don't speak to you that often. It's no love lost. I personally don't I've never had any riffraff with my family. I don't I don't know what it is to be at odds with family members. So like when it came to my wedding, it was never a thing of, oh, this person can't come because we just don't rock. I don't care that they my family, my sister, my brother, my cousins, we don't rock with each other. We had a falling, like I personally never experienced that. So all my thing was, far as eliminating the family portion, was we just don't really speak. I'm very distant, as all my family knows. I'm kind of secluded to myself and how I move, and it was just, all right, I want whoever's really close to me in this period of time of my life to actually experience this with me. So that's who I invited. And the plus ones, that for the single ones, it was how we determined the plus ones was, if we trying to do 75 people, I don't need you to be single and come with a random person simply because I can use that for another person. These All of the details I'm putting into my perfect day, me and my wife, instead of you coming with a plus one who has no attachment to us or you per se, far as when you come around, like this person plus one, like say my brother. This is not true because well, it could be true. My older brother is not with anybody, right? S- Rather him coming with a random person, like random to us, not somebody he's in a committed relationship with, not somebody who's been around. And like I said, we see them at Thanksgiving and we see them at uh any birthday function or whatever, even if they're not in a committed relationship, it's nobody we know him to be with. So why would we give my brother a +1 when we can use that next person as somebody else who is close to us and say, okay, let this person come and maybe they can have a +1 or whatever, whatever. That is a that is another person that can come, especially when you're trying to have a small wedding. It's not a personal thing of you are single and we just don't care about you, or even like I want to make it about a friend, right? I don't have a personal friend. I'm just saying, let's make this conversation about a friend. A friend is single. A friend who's close to me or my wife, right? They may be close to me, but they may not be close to my family or my wife's family. I had friends like that at my wedding. This is actual, and I tell them, yo, you could come by yourself. Now the argument with that would be, I bring that up to because the argument to that would be, well, I don't know, I'm not gonna know anybody at your wedding, so I feel comfortable with having somebody who's with me attend your wedding, right? Because now you're around friend and family and inside jokes and whatever, whatever. I don't want to feel awkward like the awkward person or whatever, right? Which I do understand, but the you as the single friend needs to understand that I value you, right? But I also value the other people I'm inviting. If I'm trying to keep it small, I can only extend it to you because that is another person that I can invite that may mean something more to me and my wife on our day than a random you may bring. And knowing you aren't getting a +1, I feel like, I didn't ask my wife this, but I feel like you will always be in good hands because you're around the people I love and the people who love me. And this is a curated environment to where you can mingle, you can get to know other people who will embrace you simply because you this is love here. This is all love. This is not this is not going to the club and we having a party at the club and we got a section and you dealing with all the other people. This is love here. Everybody you see here is here to love us and love for everybody here. This is not, this is a wedding. This is not. Now I'm gonna say, I don't know how ratchet other people families are, but I have a few sides of my family where it can end up in it could end up in a fight somehow, some way. But most people aren't gonna have that at a wedding. I didn't have that at my wedding, and I did not invite anybody because of that. But I'm just saying. But just know it is love here, and you won't feel alone here. You can talk, you can say, you could come as you are. You don't. I mean, for me and my wife, we don't come from a high sedity place. We don't come from uh a slums place to where you may feel like you're high sedity or and you can't fit in with the slums, or you from this you feel like you are middle class or slums and you can't fit in with the high sedity people. We are regular people. We are inviting you because we love you. We love what you do for us, whether it be me or whether it be one of my wife's friends. I mean, we invited people who wanted to love on us on our special day. We curated everything. Like I said, the invitations, the catering food, the decorations, the the drinks. I decorated my own wedding, right? Now, I say that because now I want to add in the money part. Now we like I said, to pay a decorator of the wedding, they ask how many people because they got to decorate it for how many people, how many place place for the food, place mats or whatever you come in with. I forgot what they call it, sauces or whatever they was. I bought stuff. I'm decorating tables. Like I said, the catering is whether you paying by meal, like by buffet, like the amount of food, or you're paying by plate up front. Like all of these things, the venue asks you how many people. Like I said, the cake, you had to have a certain amount of cake for people. You most people aren't coming into their wedding day with a store bought cake, a sheet cake or whatever. Like you getting the tiered cake, and they asking you how many people you trying to feed. The venue, like I said, the venue asks how many people you got a seat. We paying for certain chairs. We paid for the amount of tables, the size of the place. We had we had a ceremony place, and we had the actual reception area. We paid like all of this, and you may be paying it to the venue, or you may be paying it to individual contractors. I don't think the video and picture people, they didn't ask how many people. They might have, but that wasn't really a thing. But it's just so many details that go into this perfect day. When you are single and you don't receive a plus one, please don't take it personal. Please don't take it as a slight toward you. It's simply, I'm trying to keep my wedding to a certain number. In order to do that, the person you bringing is not of substance to whoever is getting married, especially if like I said, it really don't really have nothing to do with you being in a committed relationship. You could be single at a wedding, be cool. It may be other singles you can mingle with, and like I said, it's love there. It's all love. This is all love in this atmosphere right now. So you could find somebody or whatever. But like I said, I definitely went through this process with my wife of, I this person is single. Do they get a plus one? I definitely told some people they definitely wasn't getting a plus one, and if they were to get a plus one, they plus one would be another person I would invite to my wedding anyway. So I definitely did that, and they actually just came together. So that kind of killed two birds with one stone type of thing. So that was, I actually went through that. And but for anybody, I mean, I want to say for anybody who actually never got an invite to my wedding, for anybody who actually got an invite and just didn't come, I I appreciate you all. Like I said, I have no actually issues with anybody, and it was just a logistics thing of, I just wanted people who were close to me in my life at this point in my life, like, and that was it. That was how that was determined. And like I said, far as the plus one, you just didn't get a plus one simply because I may know you, I may not be close to your significant other, which and just like I said, on my special day and my wife's special day, our special day, or anybody else's special day, just be understanding of that. Just be understanding of this person. These people are trying to keep this perfect day to to people who they just really care for. And if somebody invites you to their wedding, they care for you. They care for you, and they care that you see them on their perfect day. You see, I think that's what I really want to get across at the end of this. They care that you are there for them. Like they are choosing you to be a part of their perfect day. So just love them for that. And like I said, if you just want to go to the money part, like yo, I don't really want to pay for your fling, yo. I don't want to pay for the dude or the girl you want to see this week. I mean, I'll end this on this. I heard this said several times. I don't know if y'all know this, but I kind of found this out later. But your gift to the the couple is supposed to uh be your what they spent on you for the wedding. So like say the plate, like say you feel like the 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 plate of food or your wedding spot is like $150 a person to make this wedding happen. Your gift should be at least $150. I just wanted to drop that off in case anybody didn't know that. But if you have a destination wedding, to me, you shouldn't get a gift. Now, think about that. I already have to pay to attend your wedding. I'll gladly pay to attend your wedding. Take a flight, take a boat, get a room, whatever. I'll do all that. But don't expect a gift if you having a destination wedding. I'll end on that. Thank you for joining me in this conversation